Frank. I'm a curriculum developer at code.org, specifically on the K-5 team. I'm really excited to share some new curriculum and kind of how we got there with these new blocks, this new lab in Music Lab. I'll start with just a look at the new and engaging tool. I'll talk a little bit about the curriculum and these 3 lessons that we have developed. I'll dig a little deeper into how we piloted these lessons and what we learned from the pilot, the teachers, the students, and how to make the experience a little better. And then I'll leave you with a preview of some more curriculum that's coming soon and a plug to join our hands-on workshop in a couple of hours. I know you're going to want to get in and use this tool, so make sure to come to that. So Music Lab. Music is universal. Everyone can connect to music in some way. Plus, it's a fun and fresh and very welcome in the STEM and computer science classrooms. Music Lab is a new coding environment on code.org. It has been in the works for years. It launched in the last couple of years, and last year was the main featured tutorial for our Hour of Code with jam sessions. Students and teachers are loving the tool. They are so excited to be able to manipulate and change the artist tracks, the samples of music. The way that everything fits together is really, really fun. So we decided, let's take this new engaging, successful tool and start to develop more intentional curriculum that uses it. So we'll be folding some of this curriculum into CSF, our elementary school curriculum, and some standalone. So in case you haven't seen it yet, this is a peek at the lab. Hopefully when I click next, it's gonna start a video, and the sound is like, I'm not sure what the volume it's at, so just brace yourself for a little bit. Oh, I think I missed that actually. Well, let me go back. So that's okay, this isn't updated. There are blocks on the side. Each of the blocks play or do what they say they do. The sound blocks open up into a bigger menu that has a bunch of different options and sounds that you can play. As you click on each sound, it kind of previews what it sounds like. And then in the top right corner, you can change the artist track. So you can use samples from a lot of different popular artists. There we go.
Okay.
Have you ever wondered what it'd be like to create your own music? What if I told you there's a way to play beats with code? My name is Roxanne Harris, and I am an artist, creator, and coder. Writing music is all about getting the timing and sequence of each sound just right. Musicians use measures to keep track of time. Sounds can be short or long. Some last for a beat, while others stretch across several measures. To create space or rhythm, songwriters might add pauses called rest. A rest is a bit of silence that keeps the music balanced. Some sounds play together to create harmony, while others follow a sequence to guide the song's story. Now it's your turn.
So that was Roxanne, and she is one of, there we go. She is one of several professionals that use technology to develop music. So this is a little peek at the new curriculum. There's 3 lessons in this module. Each lesson covers a basic coding concept and is paired with a career. So in lesson 1, just like a songwriter puts lyrics and notes in the right order to tell a story, programmers put code blocks in a specific sequence to make the program work. In lesson 2, they're working on functions, and that's paired with a music producer and the way that they organize the music. And then the sound designer features Roxanne in some event-driven programming. So it pairs like video game design and like sounds behind a movie scene that would play at just the right amount of time. So we piloted this new curriculum with 35 teachers and over 1,000 students across the U.S. We were looking to see if it had succeeded in aligning with the state and CSTA standards, and also how well it achieved learning objectives, and the real-life relevance to the students and the connection with the careers that we put up. We're also looking into some of the labs, like actual usability, and then watching to see how inspired students would be in their creative expression using music as we got a little deeper into the coding concepts. The pilot was a success. We learned a few lessons, which I'll talk about next, but overall met the curriculum goals. In the final survey from the teachers, 82% of the teachers agreed that the curriculum was effectively aligned to standards, and 100% of the teachers agreed the lessons were engaging and allowed their students to be creative. So that was exciting. Some of the quotes from some of the teachers in the pilot. My favorite is the top right, where this teacher says, "My students enjoyed being challenged, and the functions part of the coding really sparked deep discussions." So this is a more accessible tool. Students, the whole classroom is excited and engaged and getting involved. Now into some of the lessons learned and the process of how we developed this. We were, of course, encouraged that the students were engaged and how exciting everybody was, but we found some great ways to improve the learning. We heard more frequently than we wanted to that the students weren't sure what to do on a level. So to better scaffold the learning, we worked with the engineers to add some helpful block settings. One of those is a custom block IDs. So now I can easily override the block ID, which allows me to draw a hint exactly to and point to the block for the student. Before we did that, I needed to get into the JSON and figure out some of the back end stuff or ask Mike how to do this thing. And now this enables me to really pinpoint my focus on the learning and what I want the student to see and look at and take away from this particular puzzle. Another thing we did there on the block specifically is disable the next connection. It seems like a really small thing, but it didn't take that long to figure out, but it was really powerful in the classroom because I, again, can really pinpoint the action that I want the student to take to get that learning. So that was really fun post-pilot, figuring out how to make those adjustments. Another big lesson that we learned, in the hour of code and in the incubator where we had Music Lab for a long time, the artist tracks are a little bit long and students are really excited about piecing them together. But when it came to teaching something like a loop, I needed the feedback to be quicker. I needed the student to see that this thing was repeating several times and not let it take 60 or 90 seconds to complete. So we added a library of shorter sounds and then a classic first song, Twinkle Twinkle, to just some of these entry concepts. And then a third thing that I worked on was, of course, teachers were asking for more of a ramp up into functions. Functions and music go really hand in hand the way that a chorus works, just the structure of a song. So I wanted to make sure and really nail that piece of the curriculum for the classrooms. And we did all of this work. It is launched, so it's in our curriculum catalog. This is specifically for grades 3 through 5. There is some curriculum coming up that's going to be placed into the CSD for middle school students. It's a little bit longer. It's more in depth. It uses more of our accessibility features, which are still being developed. It really gets into some critical thinking puzzles, and I wanted to make sure and show this kind of cool thing that they figured out. So there are shadow blocks under the Win Run, and the job for the student here is to create what they see on the timeline using the blocks that are in the workspace. So it's using those shadow blocks in a really creative, clever way for an even deeper thinking puzzle than just kind of the sequencing that we're having in the elementary. You can watch for that curriculum to launch mid-July. And to wrap up, I really love this quote from a teacher at the top. Students' engagement was really high. Music is accessible to students who might not be interested in coding. And my main purpose in my work is to provide more of a chance for more students to express themselves using code. So this tool has been a really fun and fresh way to serve up some new lessons. And then I'll leave you with a plug to attend this session, Accessible Coding Meets Creativity, where you'll actually get hands-on and try Music Lab and see what we're doing in that space. Thank you for listening.
Hi, I just want to say I really appreciated your creative use of shadow blocks. That's really fun. I was curious about the option to remove the next connection. I didn't quite understand what the sort of pedagogical benefit of that was. I'm really curious about that.
Okay. Let's see if I can pull. Oh, actually, that was a really good example. So right in this chunk of code right here, I was able to remove the little next connection, so I can control exactly what the student has available in the start code. In user testing, I was noticing students are just like dragging blocks and like putting them everywhere and not really understanding what the point of the lesson is. To remove those next connections helps them focus on this. There's instructions next to it, but that's the one place that there's action for them to do.
Okay, that makes sense. Yeah, thanks.
Sorry, I'm looking the wrong way. It's really interesting. I love what you've done here with music. I guess I was intrigued. You've obviously tried to align with CS teaching through coding. To what extent, and I know very little, next to nothing about music curriculums in the US, does this align and does this support and expand on what you would learn through music? And have you tested it with music teachers to see how they get on with this as a way of teaching about music and composition?
Yeah, so we will list this curriculum under our CS connections, meaning that it's integrated. So it does also, the problem with like being really specific about this being music curriculum is that the standards are all over the place for electives like music class. So we do have subject matter experts that will go through the curriculum, give us some feedback. I worked with them to be really crisp on the definitions of things like measure and rest and the timing and kind of sound structure. So absolutely. And there's so much more opportunity when it comes to really building music. Cool. Thank you.